Hello everyone, it's Dawn and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to our subscribers and welcome to anyone who's watching. So today, as promised, we're continuing with using dies that we've either never used before or not used for a long time. Now this is a die set that I've had in my set for, I'd say at least 2 or 3 years. And as far as I recall, I've never used it. I might have used it once just to have a look at it, but I don't think I've ever used it on a project, certainly not here. So we're going to have a quick look at the die set. This is the packet that it comes in. And I'm just going to slide that to one side for a moment, and I'm going to bring the dies in and give you a better look. Now this is a window die, and it's actually a winter window die. And I deliberately said that slowly so that I said it right. So it's a winter window die. It's for building a winter scene, perhaps for a Christmas card or a winter birthday. And this is the icicles that might hang from your window on a snowy day. And these are snowflake dies, and they are bridged together when they come, but when you cut them out, they cut out individually, which is a brilliant idea because it means you're less likely to lose them. In theory, but I went mental looking for these dies this morning. When I was preparing my video, I'd cut that out, I'd cut this one out, and I went mental looking for these. I couldn't find them anywhere. They were actually under the packet, but I found them eventually. So we got there in the end. And the other thing that comes in the pack are these two gorgeous little, they're tiny little snowflakes. We're not using those today, and we won't be using, I didn't get them out, but we won't be using the window handles, the bits that you open the window from, because from this one we're going to be looking at the window from the outside, so you wouldn't see the handles. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to put my snowflakes to one side. In fact, I'm going to put all the dice to one side for a moment. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do. What I've done a bit of jiggery-pokery here. So what I did, I'll show you what I did. I used this die twice, and I drew around, I placed it on my card, I folded my card in half. I know I've got it back to front, there is a reason for that. I know last time I made a mistake and I put the sentiment on with the card facing the wrong way. I've done that deliberately this time, and you'll see why in a minute. I didn't want the front to distract from what we're going to do here. So what I did was I folded my card in half, and I put this on here, and I drew around the outline, and then what I did, I marked the bottom, and I cut the die out twice. But what I did, for the second part, I cut this bit off. This top bit I cut off. So I just blanked that bit out and put it on so that we had the length without that bit in the middle. And when I turn it over, you'll see, well, you can see how it goes. And I'm going to turn the card over because what I've done is I've painted a very simple scene on the front. Now this is a very flat scene, it's not very interesting, but I almost did that deliberately because it really does lift. When you put a window over it, it becomes a window scene, not just a flat landscape. And I'm sure by the time we've finished, because we've got flowers to put on the front, I think these cows will virtually disappear. But that's all right, well, we'll get there. And I'll show you what I've done. Let's actually, one step at a time. Let's get the windows on first. So we're going to pop the windows on. I'm going to use my glue. I was going to use my runner tape, but I actually want time to get this into place. So I'm going to use my glue for this. My new to me anyway, new Crafters glue. It's a sort of combination. It's not a tacky glue, but it's a combination between a PVA glue and a construction glue, because although it's PVA style, it's sort of white and it's quite sticky, and it's dry solid. Once it's dry, it dries solid like a construction glue. It takes a bit of time to dry, but that's all right. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to line that up like that. Sorry about my creaky old table. And apologies, there were a couple of comments in one of my previous videos that said you couldn't hear me very well. Well, I've got my volume as high as it will possibly go, and I'm sitting as close as I can to the microphone. So short of shouting into the microphone, I can't really do much else. So I hope today you can hear me okay. And what I've done is I've moved the microphone stand, or the camera stand, a bit closer. And so I've got the microphone maybe a couple of inches closer than I normally would. So I hope that's okay for you. And we're going to carry on. Oh, let's put it there where you can see it. So if I lean in, it'll probably be even louder. But I'll try not to be too loud. That'll be the next thing. Someone will say it's too loud, but that's all right. We can cope with that. So we're going to just put some glue around the outside. And just up these window bars to support it. I was going to put some acetate, but then I decided, why bother? So I didn't do that. And I'm going to turn that over, and we're going to just press that down like that. So our simple little landscape, which I did it with my watercolour pencils, has now become a sweet little window scene. But you could leave it like that if you wanted to. What you could do is just pop a sentiment there, or even there, because you've got a nice wide gap there. If you wanted to, you could leave it like that and call that finished, and that's absolutely fine. If that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. But because it's me, we're not going to do that. We're going to make it a little bit more interesting. I did promise it would be a summer scene. So what I've done, I've taken this, what was an icicle die, and I've cut it twice. And I've coloured it, and I've made it into a little, I suppose you might call it a lilac bush. I'm not quite sure what they're called. Sometimes you see things hanging on frames, on wooden frames in gardens. I'm not quite sure what they're called. They look like lilacs, but because I'm not a gardener, I don't know what they are. And I cut another one, but I cut it a little bit shorter. And you'll see why in a minute. And I was debating where to put this. I've got little strips, and I should have taken these off before I started, but it won't take long. I've got little strips of foam pad on the backs of these because I wanted them to be a bit dimensional. I didn't want them to be too flat. Because they're flowers, I wanted them to be quite bushy. And I was debating whether I was going to put, I couldn't put them there because it would overhang the bottom. I was going to put it there, but do you know what? I'm actually going to put it along that top bit up there, like that, just to give that top bit a bit of colour. And I've got another piece, which I'm going to take the backing tape off. Again, I've just cut down some foam pads. I've cut them lengthways into little strips. And we're going to try, she says, and get these bits in between some of them. They won't all go in between, but some of them might. So if we just fiddle about with it till we're happy with it, as long as it doesn't go over the edge of the card, we'll be all right. I think that'll do. So that will go over there. So you've got a nice bit of dimension at the top of the card. And then with, where they gone? Oh, there they are, right over there. What are we doing over there? With my snowflake dies, whoops, not that one, it's stuck to my fingers. With this one, the one that are bridged but they cut individually, I cut it about 3 or 4 times, and what I've done is I've coloured them, layered them up. These were snowflake dies. I've cut them and layered them up, and I've made some little flowers, which I think are quite sweet. And what I'm going to do that with these, I'm going to put them, this is where we say goodbye to the cows. You might see that one. And we're going to put them in here. I don't know whether I'm going to use these little ones yet. But again, I've got some little squares of foam pad on the back. And I'm going to put one there. I'm going to take this bright pink one, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to put that one there. But when we put our flowers on, we just need to be aware of where the bottom edge is, otherwise the thing won't stand up. That one, I think, the pale pink one. And so I was colouring away quite happily to prepare for this video. And this another bright one, I love bright pink flowers. I'm going to put, oh, we're not saying goodbye to the cows completely. I'm going to put that one up there. And this little one, this little yellow one, I made this out of the 2 leftovers from the big one. I'm going to tuck that one in there. And I don't know whether I'm going to use that one or not. I think, or perhaps I'll put it up there. Yeah, we will put it. Always find room for one more flower. We can always bung one more flower on somewhere. So there we go. That is our card. All done. That didn't take long, did it? About 10 minutes. So once you've done all the colouring and the cutting, that's what takes the time. Not so much the cutting, but the colouring. Actually, it took me more time to decide what colours I was going to use for my flowers. But there you go, guys. Look, let's just get some of this glue out of the way. There is our window scene card, our summer window scene card, made from a winter window scene card, or die set. And I've just put a scenery behind it. Now, you don't have to paint. If you're thinking, oh, I can't paint, don't worry, you don't have to. If you've got stamps that build a scene, I've got some scene building stamps, which I was going to use, but I'd already got halfway through this by the time I thought about it. So if you've got scenery stamps that you can stamp and colour and create your own scenes, or if you've got photographs, either stock photographs from an app or photographs that you've taken yourself of your garden or scenery where you've been, or even photographs of people. You can put whatever you like in your window. It doesn't have to be scenery or ocean scenery. It could be a seascape. You can put whatever you like in your windows. And of course, you don't have to use 2. Now, if you haven't got a window die, again, as we always say on this channel, if you haven't got it, that's no excuse not to make it. All you need is some, in this case, rectangle dies, and then cut some strips for the bars. And you can make that as intricate or as simple as you like. So I will see you next time. And next time, I'm still going to be using, I've got a couple of other bits and pieces. But next time, I'm going to be a little bit mean this time. And I have been showing you what we're using next time. But what we're going to be using next time doesn't actually have any, well, normally it doesn't have anything to do with paper craft. It is to do with crafting, but it's a different type of crafting, one that I'm ashamed to say I haven't got the patience to do. I did a long time ago, but I don't anymore. But it's something that we're going to use to create a paper craft project. So do come back and find out what on earth I'm talking about next time. And until then, take care, everybody. Have fun. And as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.